You are overwhelmed right now. Life is coming at you fast, faster than you'd expected, and it's a lot to handle. Probably more than you've ever had to handle in your entire life. The finances, the relationship, your sense of well being, your emotional health, home life, it's all adding up into an experience that is extremely difficult. And you want to get yourself out of it, but you don't exactly know how. It's because you haven't gotten yourself out of this type of situation before. It doesn't necessarily make it any less appealing. It doesn't make it any less comforting. So you're looking for answers. How do I get out? How do I get out from this overwhelm? Will there ever be good times again? These are going to be the questions that we take a look at today because the answer is absolutely yes. Things are going to get better. And we're going to talk about what you can do today. By the way, my name's Jason. I'm a personal development coach. I work with people all over the world to help them become exactly who they want to be, help them navigate the hard times in life. And I've been doing so for about 5 years. I've been on quite a journey myself, one that has not always been easy. And so I teach from a place of the lessons that I've learned along the way, dealing with myself and as a mentor to countless students and clients all over the world. So the first thing I just want to tell you about your overwhelm is you need to feel it. You need to actually allow yourself to feel it. The most critical mistake that people make when they're in a state of overwhelm is do what? What do? They get in their thinking mind. They're constantly, their actions and their behaviors become panicked. And what does that do? It only leads to them continuing to be in that state of overwhelm for much longer than they really need. And I say this from personal experience. When I'm overwhelmed, what do? I allow myself to feel overwhelmed. I tell myself the story that I'm overwhelmed. And it only adds to that experience. So give yourself a chance to just simply take a breath. Give yourself a chance to recognize that you are a human animal first. You're a human being. And one of the things that you have access to is a choice about how you control your physiology. If you have been taking for the last several days, weeks, maybe even months, only shallow breaths, well, you're not delivering oxygen to your brain effectively, to your body effectively, and your nervous system isn't receiving the signal that it's okay to relax. I'm not saying that this is going to make your problems go away. I'm not saying you're going to take a couple deep breaths and all of a sudden the bills are going to be paid, the relationship problems are going to be taken care of, your work is going to be taken care of. I'm not saying that. There's much more work to do on those things, I promise you that, and we'll maybe get into some of those things today, but this is really about the moment of overwhelm. And in that moment of overwhelm, what is essential is that you press pause. That you press pause on the experience. That you press pause on the somatic experience, the tightening in your chest, the tightening in your forehead, the tightening in your throat, the discomfort you feel in your stomach. Taking a deep breath and allowing those things to be there, recognizing them that they're there. Maybe even going outside, putting your feet in the grass, putting your feet in the ground. Allowing the electrons from the earth to transfer into your body to decrease your inflammation. These are tangible, practical tips that you can do to press the pause button. And it is so essential that you do. And here's the thing that not a lot of people talk about when it comes to pressing the pause button. sometimes you might not actually be willing to do it. Sometimes you might actually be so familiar with the experience of overwhelm that you keep yourself in this space of overwhelm rather than actually pressing pause. It's actually so safe for you to keep chasing, to keep running, to keep looking for the next thing, to keep feeling like you're in a state of panic and busyness and never having enough time. Why? Because you are programmed for scarcity. Scarcity applies to much more than money. Scarcity applies to your mentality. It can be how much time you have, how much resources you have. So anytime you say, I don't have enough time, energy, money, you are furthering the neural pathway of scarcity. And so in this moment, it is essential that you press pause. And you might see that there may even be something like an addiction to the experience that you're having. There might even be an addiction to the chaos. There might even be an addiction to the internal sense of overwhelm. I know that that's there for me. Sometimes when I'm really upset, when I'm really overwhelmed, when I'm really in this place of turmoil, I'm looking for answers, I'm not finding anything, I don't even want to take a deep breath. I don't even want to pause. When I really look at it, sometimes it has to do with this idea that I'm enjoying the struggle in some odd way. I'm enjoying it because it's so familiar to me. I'm not ready to not have it. I don't know who I would be without the struggle. I don't know who I would be if I just took the next step and the next step and the next step after that. And that is a truth that, if it resonates for you, is a beautiful insight, a beautiful opportunity to start looking at when you're in that state of overwhelm. Are you willing to simply press pause on the experience? Like, are you willing to stop being overwhelmed today? Are you willing to stop being overwhelmed right now? And if you're telling yourself the story, oh, I couldn't possibly do that because you have no idea, I have this, and this. It's like, well, did you even hear what I just said? Are you willing? Because here's the thing, overwhelm, it's not about the circumstances. Because there are some people in the world that are dealing with way more than you, that are dealing with way more than me, and they're still not overwhelmed. So, and there are people that are dealing with way less than you or way less than me, and they are overwhelmed. So it's not about what's happening on the outside. It's about what's happening on the inside. And so are you willing to press pause on the experience? You might have even built an identity around what it feels like to be overwhelmed. You might have built an identity around busyness. It might help you feel important. Don't talk to me, I'm working. I'd love to be able to do that, but I can't because I've got so much stuff. We put on the hero's cape and we reap the rewards of this heroship that we portray within ourselves. We're battling all of these forces, and it's so heavy and it's so hard for us. And it's not to discount the actual experience that you're having. I'm not doing that at all. I'm simply giving you an opportunity to step out of it. You might feel a softening. You might feel a sense of releasing in your body, even in the topic of this conversation. You might feel that sense of softening. Once you actually are willing to press pause, everything else starts to fall into place. Here's the next step. Do one thing at a time. I know you've heard it before. I know it sounds trite. I know it sounds cliche. But it is the truth. It is the way. Start small. Start doing anything. Now I want to give you a little insight into my own personal journey. When I arrive at this place, when I'm overwhelmed and I've pressed start and it's time to get started, my first feeling is, but wait, I have so much to do. I don't even know what I want to get into. I don't even know what to do. And that type of thinking is a sign that you still haven't really done the first step, which is to stop the experience. It's still coming from that overwhelmed place. And so in order to actually step into the next thing, there gets to be a clear stopping and then a clear choice. And it doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world. It just has to be different than the types of things that you're doing from the space of overwhelm. Avoiding the most important things, chasing busyness, downright avoiding doing everything, scrolling on your phone, seeking dopamine. It just has to be different from any of those things. And if it is different and you start that path, you will instantly become less overwhelmed and you'll instantly become more motivated and things will become more and more clear. And you'll realize that there is a truth that has been lurking behind the scenes. And it's this: your sense of overwhelm isn't real. It's not a true thing. Sure, it is a true experience that you're having, but it's not a fact about the situation that you're in. And you, in this exact situation, without anything changing, can show up in a non-overwhelmed way. You can show up in a peaceful, in a calm way. And when I make videos, it's not to teach you something that is so unfamiliar, that doesn't feel right. It's to remind you of how easy it is to get back in the flow and how much easier it is than we think sometimes. When you start taking action, your motivation will increase. People think, oh, let me just wait around for motivation. No, the truth is that motivation comes from accomplishment, even if it's small, even if it's a small thing. And you know what? From a stuck place is not the place to figure out what to do next. It's not the time to think about what to do next. The stuck place is the place to get in motion first. The overwhelmed place is to get in motion on the important things first. And when you do that, when you take those steps, that's when things become clearer. So I want you to think right now, what are the things that I could do? What are the small steps that I could take? Can I start small? Give yourself the space to do that. Give yourself the space to do those things. Now, if you need more support in this, I want to speak to you about something that a priest gave to me. And I'm going to paraphrase the prayer, but it was essentially a prayer to God asking for his guidance. And the general idea is that I surrender myself to you. I surrender my will to yours. I trust that you know what's good for me more than I know what's good for me. And it can be scary for me sometimes to surrender in that way. think I've got to figure everything out on my own. But there is a higher order to things. Whether you resonate with the language of God, whether you resonate with the language of flow or the universe or whatever it is, there is an order to things. And things are working outside of you. There is a movement, there is a flow to things that is outside of you. And when you surrender to it, you can be taken in these quantum leaps that bring you to places so much more quickly, with so much less effort than you can ever really imagine. And I've been in a situation, as I've shared before, where my wife and my dad are currently butting heads. And the situation has reached a point where I couldn't handle it anymore. I didn't know what to do. I listened. I tried to mend. I tried to soften their hearts over weeks and months. And it was reaching a point where both of them were refusing to find common ground in any way, shape, or form. And I was exhausted and overwhelmed myself. I didn't know what to do. And so I took a moment and I kneeled in prayer. And I asked God to show me the way. I surrendered my will to Him. I gave up any ideas that I knew how to do things or that it was up to me to figure them out. And I stayed in that place of prayer. I prayed for my wife, prayed for my dad, I prayed for my students, my family, prayed for everyone. And after 15, 20 minutes, I got up and they were yelling at each other. And while that might sound like, where's this God you speak of? What is he doing? They actually hadn't been speaking to each other at all over the last few months. It was outside of me being there. It was basically like using me to be the means of communication between the two of them. So this was actually a huge step for them. And in that space, they were going at it for a long time, and I let them go, and they're actually arriving at a space where I think there's some real healing and some real possibility about what's there for us moving forward. And so if you're willing to stop, if you're willing to get clear, and if you're willing to ask, to surrender, to release the need to control, I think a lot of amazing things are going to happen for you. And so I hope you do that. I hope you save this video. Hope you leave a comment, how this resonated with you, how this landed. I hope you implement some of the things that we talked about today. And if you've made it this far, I just want to say, I really love you. Thank you so much for being here. And let me know if you have any questions about what we talked about today. Otherwise, I'll see you again tomorrow.